I ended up with the keys of a boosted Civic, so let's go take it on a rip.
Today we've got something super exciting for you. Check this out. It's a 1998 Honda Civic, but it's not just any Civic. This one's packing a B series on boost, and wait for it, it's right-hand drive. This thing is built, and we're about to dive into everything about this car. Now let's get something out of the way right off the bat. Hondas have been getting some unnecessary hate over the years. People love to bash them because, let's be honest, every 16-year-old with their first car seems to run to AutoZone, slap every single part from LA onto it, right? Or maybe they just call them ugly or basic. But here's the thing, Honda's aftermarket support is unmatched. The community is massive, and that's because these cars are more than just your run-of-the-mill transportation. They're platforms for incredible builds like this one right here.
Let's get on it a little.
This right here is Alfredo's 1998 Honda Civic. It's rocking a B18 B1 block with a B16 head. It doesn't stop there though. The motor's fully built. We're talking Wiseco pistons and rods, upgraded valves, springs, and retainers. Everything in this engine is practically brand new. New polished crank bearings, ACT rod bearings, gaskets, you name it, it's brand new. And it was tuned by someone very popular down here in South Florida, Javi Tuned. With a built block, you're expecting some type of power. Well, you're right. It makes around 400 horsepower on E85 with a 5862 precision turbo. Now you might think, 400 horsepower, that's not too crazy, but let me tell you, it's a completely different ballgame in a car that weighs just around 2,600 pounds.
This car just brings smiles to my face, honestly. It's not the fastest car. It is pretty fast for what it is because it does make 400, but it's honestly just a fun car that just grab the keys and just go.
Now let's address the elephant in the room. This Civic is right-hand drive. And no, it didn't come from Japan or anything like that. This car was actually swapped by the previous owner years ago. I know, you're probably thinking, that's crazy, that's dangerous. And hey, I get it. But honestly, this swap was done so well that if you didn't know, you'd swear it came straight from the streets of Japan. The shop that did the swap took their time, and the work speaks for itself. I've had my fair share of Civics, from my first EK hatch with a single cam turbo making 250 horsepower to my bone stock EK hatch that I'm currently learning and building on.
Yeah, turn signals are over here. This thing sounds great. Any B series, especially when it hits VTEC, sounds good. Yeah, let's get on there again. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, the mirror right there is actually pretty useful.
Yeah, you can see it?
I can actually see someone well, especially if I adjust it a little higher.
Let's take a quick dive into some history. Civics have been around for decades. They started back in 1972, and since then the Honda community has exploded, especially in the late 90s and early 2000s with the EG and EK. They became the most iconic cars to this day, and they're some of the most sought after models in the Honda world. The US spec 96 to 2000 EK Civics all came with D series motor, but here's the kicker. Honda never gave us the B series in these cars, like the Type R or SI or the SIR trims. So naturally, the Honda community got creative and started dropping B series into every Civic. The B series was the engine swap in the early 2000s before the K series took over. Nowadays, seeing a B series is a bit more on the rare side. It's the sight that gets mad respect in the community though.
And I can rev it out all the way. It's just, this isn't my car, so I don't feel comfortable doing that. I'm only shifting like at 6K. Yeah, this car just has all the types of fun.
Alright, so here's a big question. How does it feel driving a right-hand drive car? Well, this is actually my first time actually driving a right-hand drive car other than a parking lot, but let me tell you, it didn't take too long to get the hang of it. Everything is very simple. Everything flows really well. The only thing is shifting with my left hand was kind of weird at first, but once you get used to it, this car was a dream to drive.
Straight spinning.
At the end of the day, building a car is all about one thing, having fun and learning. And if a car can make you smile every time you drive it, then it's doing something right.
This has a fully built head, so this probably revs out somewhere between like 8K, probably somewhere around there, right? somewhere in the 8K range. I'm only revving it out to like 5K, but this thing on the highway, this thing sounds good. And once it gets on, once the boost starts building, it starts moving. Boost starts building like around 3K RPMs, so it's not super laggy.
People can hate on Civics all they want, but I can guarantee you this: if they drove one like this, their opinion would change real fast. So that's it for today's video, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this awesome build as much as I did. Drop your thoughts and feedback in the comment section down below. I want to hear what you guys think. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. And I'll catch you guys on the next one.